What is up, everyone? Today is Tuesday, which means that's time for another live Q&A. As always, I'm your host, Paul J. Lipsky. So here on this channel, I talk a lot about different ways to dropship onto different marketplaces like eBay, Facebook Marketplace. We've done Amazon in the past in different forms, bunch of different ways that we've talked about. So if that interests you, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to check out some of my videos. Then after watching them, if you have any questions, come to one of these live Q&As. I do them every week for the past, 5 years or so at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So come ask your questions and I will do my best to answer those questions for you. We already have a bunch of people here in the chat, so let me jump in here and start answering some of these questions. But yeah, I think I started these at the end of 2017. Yes, it's been like over 5 years of doing these almost weekly, which is pretty insane to think about. All right, so David's here saying, hey, Paul, when starting dropshipping on eBay, how many products should I expect to list before getting my first sale if I do everything right? Research products, good titles, etc. Yeah, so really good question, man. There's definitely a lot of things you do want to get right when it comes to listing up products for sale, finding those products. Some of the key things that I would look at is, first, you want to make sure you're doing product research correctly. You don't want to just be listing random products up for sale on eBay. Actually go in there, do research. I use Zeek Analytics to do that. I don't think there's any better way to do product research because that's going to give you the data on which items are selling well. So do that to get an idea of what types of products you should be selling. Then make sure you're optimizing them with good titles, good descriptions, good main image, make sure they're in the right category. And if you do everything correctly, then I've had students make their first sale their very first day. I've had students who have made their money back on my course the very first day. Not everyone is going to have the same experience for sure. Those results definitely aren't typical, but it is certainly possible. Now, again, there's a lot of things you have to get right. So I want to let you guys know in the description of this video and all my YouTube videos are a bunch of free resources for you. There is a guide in there on the best software to use for dropshipping, and especially the product research software that I just mentioned. There's a guide in there of the best suppliers that you can dropship from, and then just a general guide on how to do dropshipping as well. So definitely check out the description. Get all those free ebooks. I've made them all for you guys. All I ask is that you sign up for my email list in order to get those. So check them out and then let me know if you have any further questions about the material inside of that. All right, Brett Powers is here. What's up, Brett? Brett says, what's the most profitable marketplace you are selling on currently? Also, do you feel Zeek Analytics listing optimization works across multiple marketplace algorithms or just primarily eBay? All right, big questions there, great questions. So which is the most profitable marketplace? So Facebook Marketplace, my margins are higher on there, meaning that if I were to sell the same product on eBay and Facebook, I would make more money on Facebook. There's a few reasons for that. One, competition is lower, so we can have higher prices. Two, Facebook fees are lower on Facebook. So that's why per item, Facebook, the profit margin is higher. But eBay, we're still having higher volume with. So actually, I'm making more money from eBay than actually from Facebook Marketplace. Now, the Zeek Analytics tool that he's talking about is a tool in there to help you with your titles. I use that for title optimization on eBay because what you can do is you can put in there, let's say, coffee table, and it will tell you what other keywords people are searching for when they're looking for a coffee table. If those keywords apply to your listing, so maybe we'll say wood coffee table. So if it's a wooden coffee table, I would put the word wood in my title. If it was, let's say one of the words was metal, like for a metal coffee table. Well, if my coffee table is wooden, I wouldn't put the word metal in there. But it helps you find which keywords are well searched for and how often they're searched for. So I put them in there. You can use those for Facebook as well. So eBay gives us a lot of data. Well, eBay through Zeek Analytics because of the way they connect, Zeek Analytics is able to get a lot of data from eBay about what items are selling well, what keywords are working, et cetera, et cetera. Facebook, that information is not available. Facebook doesn't give us that information for Facebook Marketplace. So we have to use other indicators. And the way we primarily do that is if an item is selling well on eBay, there's a really good chance it's going to sell well on Facebook Marketplace. So generally, we'll use Zeek Analytics to find the item to sell on that's selling well on eBay, and then we'll just list it for sale on Facebook Marketplace. And you can either build a new title or you can just use the same title from eBay. Generally speaking, if you're going to use Zeek Analytics to find an item that's selling well on eBay, and then you list up that exact same item on eBay, I would not use the same exact title as the person who's successfully selling it. I would change up the title. I would optimize it. But since all you're doing is selling that item on Facebook, which is a completely different marketplace, I actually think it is okay to use the same title that you got from eBay. Although usually my team and we will change up the title a bit because we think, quite honestly, we're better at title optimization than even the titles that are given on eBay, if that makes sense. Brett says, if you have an MC011, can we reach out to the guy on Facebook? Yes, I would reach out to him. I think it works with most types. I don't think it works with every type of MC011 suspension, but you should reach out to him for more information on that. And hey, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And appreciate the questions. Raza says, how much money do we need to start an eBay or Amazon dropshipping store? So Raza, Amazon dropshipping is something I stopped doing, I took a break from doing a few years ago because I just found it to become much more difficult for beginners to get into Amazon dropshipping. And even for myself doing it, it was becoming more and more challenging because of some changes to the rules that Amazon was making. Recently, though, some people have actually talked me into trying it again because some things have changed and we're able to work with new suppliers that actually comply with Amazon's rules. So I am diving back into Amazon dropshipping, to be honest. Let me know, guys, if that's something that you're still interested in, if you still want to be dropshipping on Amazon, and I will certainly make some information about it available to all of you if that's something you guys are interested in. But kind of want to get a feel from all of you if Amazon dropshipping is something that you guys are still interested in. Now, how much money do you need to start? I'm going to talk about eBay dropshipping. So the cool thing about dropshipping in general is that the cost to get started is pretty low. You're not buying inventory up front. You don't need to buy a website, buy a domain name. It's free to sign up for an eBay account. There are paid plans, but you're going to stick with the free plan for now. If you dropship on Amazon, it's going to cost you $40 a month, so you're going to have that part of it. For both of them, there is software that I would recommend that you use, primarily AutoDS and Zeek Analytics, but both of them have trials if you use my links. So again, in the description of this video is a PDF ebook that goes over all the top dropshipping software that I recommend and use. In there are links to all this software I'm talking about, and you get free trials if you use that link. So that's what I would check out. And with all of that, really, honestly, the cost to get started is pretty much nothing until you actually sell a product. Now, once you sell a product on eBay, you now have to buy it from your supplier. Maybe that's Walmart, maybe that's Amazon, maybe it's Home Depot, maybe it's a wholesale supplier. When you buy it, you have to use your own credit card to purchase the item because eBay doesn't release the money to you right away. And Amazon doesn't release the money to you right away. None of the platforms do that. They need a holding period on those funds to make sure that you are not going to scam the customer. Now, once the item is delivered, then the money can be released to you. It depends on the platform. Amazon does it on like a rolling basis. Facebook releases it to you after it's been delivered. So it depends on the platform, but generally speaking, after it's been delivered, shortly thereafter, you should have the money released to you, at which point you can pay off the credit card and keep the rest as profit. So really all you need is that credit card at first, and then it's going to be the cost of the software, which for eBay, you can get away with, I think, like $30 or $40 a month for that. Amazon is going to be a little bit more money because the Amazon software costs a little bit more. And then you need the credit card. And without a credit card, you need a debit card with a few $100s on there or a few $1,000s to get you going, depending on how fast you want to go. All right, Robert says, hello all, following directions works. Absolutely, it does, Robert. Robert's one of my students, so I think he's making a joke about making sure he's going through the course step by step. Sanothi says, I sold my first item. It was an empty package, my first negative feedback. Sent a replacement, happy customer, but didn't change my negative feedback. eBay won't let me list with negative feedback. I've honestly never seen that before. eBay saying you can't list because of negative feedback. I find that really hard to believe. I would call them, check what's going on. I would also reach out to the customer and ask them to change it to a neutral or positive feedback. Apologize, say, this was a mistake in the warehouse. It's rare, but it does happen sometimes. We really apologize about this. Glad we were able to make it right. Can you revise that feedback? Maybe make it a neutral feedback, and that will negate it, so you'll be at 0. All right, Kared says, if I'm trying to list onto Facebook Marketplace, is it still best to add the product to AutoDS first and then use your Chrome extension to list all the products from AutoDS to Facebook Marketplace? Yeah, that's the way I would do it, Cred. So we have a Chrome extension that will list items for you from different suppliers' websites onto Facebook Marketplace. It will also grab any products from AutoDS and list them onto Facebook Marketplace. So it only works with a few suppliers, but the cool thing is that if it doesn't work with a certain supplier, like let's say Wayfair, then you can add the product from Wayfair into AutoDS. Once the product's in AutoDS, you can always list it using my Chrome extension from AutoDS onto Facebook Marketplace. So just add it to AutoDS first, and then use a Chrome extension to grab it from AutoDS and list it onto Facebook Marketplace. That's probably the fastest way to do it. David says, eBay holds our money. How much money do we need to fulfill orders? Yeah, same thing. Use a credit card is the best way to do it until eBay releases the money to you. Or you need a debit card with a few $100s or ideally a couple of $1,000 if you want to scale up quicker. Brett Powers here with another great question says, what's been your personal experience with VAs, in other words, virtual assistants? Do they typically stay around for a long time, or are there frequent turnover rates? I know this is quite subjective. Yeah, so my experience with virtual assistants has always been pretty positive in terms of turnover rate. So for those of you who don't know, we hire these virtual assistants to help us run our dropshipping stores for us. They can find products to list, they can list them, they can do customer service, they can fill orders, they can do everything because dropshipping is entirely online. They can just log into our accounts and do it. Usually I recommend that people just give them access to the software like Zeek Analytics and AutoDS. That way you never have to give them access to your actual eBay account if you don't want to. I've always had a great experience with them, but I always hire my virtual assistants from Online Jobs, which I think there's a link for that inside the software guide which you can download in the description. So with that website, when I hire them, I am hiring them directly, like contracting with them directly, so that I am paying them directly through PayPal. They are working with me. There's no middle person. If I hire them through a website like Upwork, there is a middleman there. It's Upwork. Upwork will take a portion of my money. They don't work for me. They work for Upwork, and I pay Upwork. I don't like that business model at all. I want them to be working with me, and I find that when they do that, the turnover rate is much, much lower than if I hire through like Upwork. I used to be able to sing. I haven't sang in a long time, so I don't know. I'm good. George says, I'm having trouble doing product research. I spent hours just looking for a product that has that wild factor. Any advice to help me out to be successful? Yeah, what I would say to you, George, is that there are multiple different product research techniques that you can try. So the technique that you're looking for, or that you're trying, I should say, is one of the more advanced, difficult techniques. It's where you're looking for kind of a product. You're going on the supplier's website, you're looking for a product that's like, wow, that's special, that's something unique, that catches the eye. I think people would impulse purchase that. That is where you're going to find a lot of great products with very low competition, but it's really hard to do as a beginner to be able to find those. I would suggest you do one of the other techniques. Especially for beginners, I think using a software that can give you data and information is much more straightforward and makes a lot more sense when you don't have that experience. Because it can tell you, hey, this product sold 4 times in the past month, and this one sold 20 times in the past month. So of course you want to sell the one or list up the one that's sold 20 times in the past month. So that's where I would concentrate as a beginner if I was you, George. And as you're going along, if you see some of these products that are like, wow, that's a cool product, yeah, go ahead and add that one, even if no one else is selling it, to see if you kind of are able to tap into a new product that no one else is selling yet. So follow-up question from Brett. Is it wise to hire 2 virtual assistants per marketplace you sell on, so if one leaves, you have a backup to cover while you hire a new virtual assistant? You know, Brett, I used to think the same way that you are right now. That is what I did with all of my stores when I first started. And in fact, I went a little bit way beyond that, like a little bit to crazy town on that one, because I hired originally a virtual assistant to fulfill orders, a virtual assistant to list products, and a virtual assistant to do customer service. And then I had this fear, what if those virtual assistants leave? So I doubled up on all those positions. I had about 6 virtual assistants for one eBay store, which made absolutely no sense. It was confusing. It created more work for me. It's not the way I would go. What I would do, Brett, is I would hire 1 virtual assistant per store. Have that VA basically replace you, okay? Listing products, doing fulfillment, customer service, everything. If they get too busy and they need help, then hire another virtual assistant who will then answer and work under that original virtual assistant. That's the way that I would do it. And yes, there is always that risk that the virtual assistant is going to not or take time off because of a holiday, or not show up because they're sick, or quit. There is that risk, but for me, in my experience, that risk is really, really low. I cannot think of a virtual assistant off the top of my head who actually quit on me. I did have a few times where they didn't show up because of holidays, but they gave me advance notice of that, and then I covered it while they were gone, just for those few days. But I cannot think of a virtual assistant that actually quit on me besides the one that I hired through Upwork. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. They tend to be very good workers, and because of the flexibility, I mean, if you give them flexibility, say, hey, I just need this done. That's why I always tell my virtual assistants, I just need this done. All right, I don't care when you do it for certain jobs. Like listing products, I say, hey, I want you to spend X number of hours. I want you to find X number of products per week. I don't care when it's done, just get it done. So some of them will work 2 jobs and they'll just do this at night, or they'll just work on the weekends, whatever they want. I don't care. Customer service, though, those jobs, I say, hey, that has to get done during set hours. You have to show up to answer questions during set hours. Bassett says, I have a limit of 1,000 listings. Can I list 1,000 listings in 1 month? Couple of things to unpack here. Technically, you can. However, you only get 250 free listings per month, meaning that after that, eBay is going to charge you 35 cents per listing unless you sign up for a store subscription. So look up eBay store subscriptions. eBay has a web page that goes over all the different plans they have and the benefits of them and how much it costs. Inside my eBay course, I tell you, hey, at this number of listings, you need to upgrade to the next store, and then etc. for the next one after that. So I do that math for you, but you can kind of do the math yourself to determine at what point you should be upgrading from the free plan to the paid plan. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you list 1,000 items this month, they will renew next month and count towards your 1,000 limits per month. So if you don't think of it as 1,000 listings per month, think of it as 1,000 listings. All right. Once you have 1,000 in there, you can't list anymore unless your limit increases. All right. I do it. I put my credit card into AutoDS. Do you think dropshipping on eBay with Amazon is no longer effective? Has the era of dropshipping with products from Amazon come to an end? No, we do it, but we don't use Amazon Prime. We primarily stick to items that are over $25 for the free shipping. I dropship on eBay.com, Amazon.com, Facebook.com. I don't dropship in other markets because that's not where I'm from. I'm from the United States. So I don't have any views about the Australian market, but personal views. But I've heard from a lot of people, it is a good place to sell and dropship. Yeah, I'm here, man. Pretty surprised, but I'm here. Atlas says, just got an AutoDS and I'm loving it. Any tips for using AutoDS with Facebook Marketplace and eBay stores? Do you adjust prices according to seller fees on those different platforms? Thanks. Yeah, so within one AutoDS account, you can sell products on both eBay and Facebook Marketplace and Etsy and Shopify and Amazon. You can have all of those in one AutoDS account if you want to. You just have to adjust the fees for those different platforms, but it's nice it can be all in one. Hello, my friend. No, that's not true anymore. Well, I don't know, maybe it is true, but from what we've seen, we've been using AutoDS with the API and we're not seeing any negative impact on our eBay account because of it. Does AutoDS do automatic orders for Walmart now? I was able to check the auto ordering box in buyer account settings, unlike before. I believe they do, but reach out to them. I've tried auto ordering before, and I think it's cool, but for my team and what we do with tax exemption and things, we do ordering manually ourselves. Walmart canceled my second dropshipping order. How do I prevent this? I should make a whole download about this because I get this question a lot, like a whole PDF about this. I do have a video about it, actually. You might want to try to find that video. But what I would do is, so normally that's like a fraud prevention thing. Just call Walmart up and they usually remove the hold on your account and then you can place another order. Or try paying with a different payment method. A lot of times that works as well. My pleasure. Reality says, what suppliers do you use when doing Facebook Marketplace dropshipping? And have you ever used AliExpress? What suppliers do you use for Facebook Marketplace? What suppliers do you use for Facebook Marketplace? Okay, same question 3 times. For suppliers for Facebook Marketplace, we use Walmart and Amazon, and that's it. Because Facebook, they're pretty, the handling time we get from Facebook is pretty low, and we can't really adjust that like you can on eBay. So we have to use suppliers that ship quickly, which we see as Walmart and Amazon being the e-commerce giants, the one that are shipping out their items the fastest. So those are the ones that we use. We definitely don't use AliExpress, which the items there are just taking way too long to get to the customers. Yeah, I think they're still working on that AI title changer for AutoDS. So, Bro, I'm not sure I'm saying your name correctly, says, if I edit the images myself, would it really be beneficial for me in Cassini's algorithm, or what benefit would it provide? Currently, I'm uploading them as is. Yeah, so I'm all about finding a balance between optimization and efficiency. So things like, if you take the title, I think it's definitely worth it for you to take the time to optimize your eBay title. and to take the time to make sure your item's in the right category. And taking a moment just to look at the images that are given to you by the supplier, and seeing if there's another image besides the main one that you could use as the main one. So don't just default to the same one that the supplier uses as a main image. See if there's another one that would maybe look good as a main image as well, so that way you stand out a little bit from the competition. Now, there are other ways to kind of quickly stand out. Like you can use a software like AutoDS will make a collage that you can use for your images. But when you start to get into like editing the images yourself, it gets a little bit time consuming for every single listing. So personally, I don't think it's worth the time for you to be doing that. Are you allowed to have multiple eBay accounts under one name? Yes, Jonathan, you are allowed to have multiple eBay accounts. However, most people should just have one, is my opinion. I don't really see the need for people to have multiple eBay accounts usually. Sweet. Amazon dropshipping interest. Cool. Yeah, we just answered this one. So I think what Tyler's saying is, hey, there's some images where the item is, the background's removed, so it's just white. Should I use those ones, or should I use ones where the item is shown with the whole picture and the background's not removed? I do this on an item by item basis. I'm looking at the item and saying, hey, how easily can I see what this item is inside the image? I personally, given everything, if everything feels the same, I prefer to use a different main image from the one given to me by the supplier, just so I can stand out from competitors, if that makes sense. Alex says, do you think it's possible to do Amazon affiliate and use those links in your AutoDS store for extra? Okay, so I think what you're saying is, can you order stuff from Amazon using your own Amazon affiliate link? And Amazon affiliate, for those of you who aren't familiar, is anyone can sign up for this, and through it you get links to products on Amazon. And if anyone clicks on those links and buys, you get a commission. So I've done this before in my YouTube videos. I've said, hey, if you want to use the same microphone as me, I'll put a link to it in the description of this video. It's a link to Amazon. If anyone clicks and buys, I get a small commission from Amazon. You are not allowed to buy through your own affiliate link on Amazon, and Amazon will catch you. Oops, sorry about that. They will catch you, and they look at things like your IP address and cookies and things like that. They catch people doing that. Is there a spider on me? There's a spider crawling up my leg. And they'll remove the commission. You won't get it. How effective is CJ Dropshipping for eBay? I like CJ Dropshipping. They have warehouses based in the United States. When I say I like them, if you are going to dropship from China, which is not something I generally recommend and like, but if you're going to dropship from China, CJ Dropshipping is, I have found, the best supplier to work with. I've had the best luck with them, the best experience with them. So in those terms, I do like CJ Dropshipping. What alternatives can I use to track Taco? If you use AutoDS auto ordering, they have their own sort of, tracker bot, you said. You said track Taco. Yeah, well, actually, it's the same answer to that, actually. If you use AutoDS's auto ordering, they have their own tracker bot sort of thing built in, where any orders they place, they'll automatically upload tracking numbers. I personally don't use TrackerBot either. I've had problems with them, so we upload manually, actually. All right, we're 30 minutes in, but I'm going to quickly answer a couple of more questions. Something you just kind of get. Let me do some rapid fire here. I don't do private labels, so can't help you there. Asked and answered already. Let's see. What should be the roadmap after doing dropshipping to scale my business, white label or private label? If you're having success with dropshipping, Personally, I would expand to a new marketplace. Take your dropshipping skills, apply them to a new marketplace, or maybe open up. Maybe that. What the heck? This spider will not leave me alone, unless there's like. I don't know if that's the same spider or if there's just like a lot of spiders. No, I'm getting freaked out now. All right. Yeah, I would just take your dropshipping skills and bring it to a new marketplace and scale it up that way. Because that's going to be the quickest way to take your skills and just like double what you're doing. For Facebook Marketplace, we rely solely on organic traffic at this time. I've never sold auto parts, so I'm not sure. What advice would you give me to find good products to sell from CJ Dropshipping? Same onto eBay. Same thing I always teach for product research. So check out some of my videos on product research. I think I actually have one for CJ Dropshipping. No matter what supplier you're working with, the process is going to be largely the same. We just don't sell Vero items, and items that are over like a few $100s. I think we're capping at like $300 at the moment. No, if an item not received case is closed by the buyer, then you're in good shape. And if there is a problem, it does show up, just contact eBay. The messages exist, so they'll remove any defects. What are your favorite types of items to sell, and why items that make me the most money? Like, I get asked this all the time. What do you sell? I say I sell anything that sells, okay? Anything and everything. That's all that matters to me. I'm just looking to do the research, like on Zeek Analytics, see what's hot and selling, and those are the items that I'm going to sell. I don't have like a specific niche. Usually this ends up being like home goods, but that's just because that's what's selling on the marketplaces. So that's all we care about. Is it selling? Is now a good time to list Halloween items? I would say by the middle of this month, so in about 10 days is when you should start Halloween stuff. Gerardo says, if you hire a virtual assistant through online jobs, how can you actually keep track of how many hours a VA is actually working? So two things to say there. One, there is software that will take a screenshot of their screen every X number of minutes or even seconds to make sure they're actually doing work. And then you can check that if you want. I've never done that. I tell my virtual assistants, this is how much I'm paying you. This is the work I want done. I don't care how long it takes you, just get it done. And that's all that I care about. As long as the work is getting done, I don't care. So that's the way I do it. Okay. I think using a VPN might trigger Walmart's anti-fraud detection system. Yeah, that could be it. Could be right. What do customers say when they order from you on Facebook, but they get a package from Walmart or Amazon? Generally, customers don't care. We see very few that actually message us. If you think about it, when you're buying stuff from Facebook Marketplace, most people think that they're just buying from an individual person. And individual people need boxes to ship their items in. So where do they get their boxes from? Well, they go to Walmart and buy boxes, or they reuse old Amazon boxes. So anytime I've gotten something from a seller on eBay or from a seller on Facebook and it's come in like an Amazon box, that's what I think. Even as a drop shipper, I still think, hey, it's probably that they just reused an Amazon box. It's a sign. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe, Noah, I think you are right, man. All the spiders. Maybe I'm wrong. Now must be the time to start listing up some Halloween products. The spiders have spoken, guys. So, yeah, start listing up Halloween items. All right, so that is a good place to end it for this week. Thanks, everyone, for such great questions. If you have any questions that weren't answered, make sure to come to the next live Q&A. I do them every single Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So thanks so much for hanging out, and see you next week. Bye for now.